Today I'm going to walk through how we leased 4 properties in just 48 hours. We leased 3 properties on Thursday, then 1 property on Friday. I'm going to walk through each property and explain what we did to get these properties leased so quickly. So let's look at number 1/56 Lakeside Drive. This is a great result we got for our client. We listed it on the 20th of March and leased it on the 26th of March. So not even a week was the property up for rent, and we already had somebody approved and lease sent out for signature. This was a new management, so the property was never actually rented for at least 5 years previously, so we could put the rent at whatever we wanted. If we jump to the property, these are the photos that were used. Now, we did use a little bit of AI to touch up a few areas of the photos, which in the end really helped attract the right tenant. If you walk through the photos, you can see everything is tidy and well presented. We put this photo at the front because it draws the attention, and then you go through the bedroom, see the dining room, how it's very large, see the kitchen on the side, and then you go through the bedrooms, backyard area as well, with the fence as well, which also helps people in Emerald because a lot of tenants do want a bit of a backyard. We listed this property for $580 per week and we got it for $580. How we lease this so quickly is we are in contact with numerous mining companies around Emerald. Many mining companies have properties with us as tenants. So when one of the mining companies saw this one come up, they needed one for their executive. So we showed them through the property and they wanted to proceed, and mining companies don't mess around. If it works for them, grab it, move on. Property number 2, 9 Mangrove Street in Blackwater. In general, Blackwater does take longer to lease than Emerald, and the reason why is Blackwater tends to attract a higher amount of poor quality applications, and we don't want to put any poor quality applications into our clients' properties. So we listed it on the 12th of March, and we leased it on the 26th of March, so around 2 weeks on days on market. The backstory is the previous agent actually had the property advertised for a month. So it was sitting vacant for a month prior, already advertised. The client swapped to us because they weren't getting results, and we leased it in 2 weeks. Now, what did we do differently? These are the photos that the previous agent was using. This was a thumbnail photo, and then up to here were the photos. First of all, the photos are sideways. This does not showcase the kitchen at all. This just shows basically a wall, does not show exactly what's happening. And there's some rubbish down the corner. Then there's some rubbish there, an old microwave. It really does not present the property in a great light, which means you're going to attract poor quality applications or no applications at all. So what we did, we took these photos. See how it's zoomed out a little bit and it showcases the entire room. The bathroom, it's the photo center and it showcases the bathroom, the mirror and the cabinet and the towel rail. The kitchen is a much nicer photo. I really like this one as it showcases the lounge room, the dining room, the kitchen in the back, and then obviously you wouldn't figure out that the bedrooms go down here. The reason why we didn't take outside photos is because the lawns weren't mowed and they were quite high. We just took over management, so when I took these photos, this was the first time actually seeing the property. This leads me to another point, that if you are looking to lease a property, make sure the property exterior looks to be in good condition and is well kept, because then you're going to attract people who want to take care of the property. This was listed for $420, which is quite a reasonable price for a 3-bed, 1-bath with air cons in every room. And in the script, very simple rental script, nothing fancy. I'm a big believer that if a tenant wants to move into a property, they will apply for the property they want to move into. There's no point selling a tenant to move into a property they don't want to. If we do persuade them, then 6 months to 12 months later, they'll break lease. It's going to make our life more difficult as we have to release it, and also affect the client because they're going to go at least with possibly a few weeks without any rental income, depending on whether they break lease or if they simply don't renew their lease. Property number 3 is 2 Maguire Place in Emerald. We listed this on the 26th of Feb and leased it on the 26th of March. So yes, this is a larger time on market, around an entire month. We were actually struggling to get quality applications for this property. We did have this photo as a thumbnail photo, but we weren't attracting any really quality applications. So we changed the thumbnail photo to this one with the nice timber beam, raked ceilings, freshly cleaned carpet, and it seemed to do the trick. Again, all the photos are great. The patches on the walls have actually now been fixed as well. They showcase the property and present the property in a great light, showing that the owner cares for the property, therefore attracting people that will care for the property as tenants. We had the application for 2 Maguire Place come through probably Tuesday. Then we booked a viewing for Thursday when they were in Emerald. And what we did actually prior to them viewing, we processed the application in the back end and made sure they were a suitable fit. They wanted to proceed. We let them know we have no issue with them. We're just waiting on the owner's approval. Then got the owner's approval on Thursday afternoon, which is a great result. And then update the tenant on Friday, and happy days. Property number 4 is 8/53 Dundas Street. This is a 2-bed, 1 bath. One of the issues was that there was only aircon in the lounge room, no aircons in any of the bedrooms. It was originally listed for $400 per week, but we dropped it to $380 per week as we weren't receiving any applications at all. Again, the thumbnail photo is the best photo we have on that property, which in this case is a complex pool. To be honest, the complex is quite run down. I do believe Body Corporate needs to do a better job on this complex to make it look attractive to tenants. As you can see, it's poorly patched there, it's run down, old paintings. It's not really attractive, so we did the best we can with the photos. Walked through, again, spacious, shows the entire room, and the reason why there isn't any photos of the bedrooms is because there were actually mattresses there that had major stains, and we couldn't get them removed using AI. Funny story is that we weren't actually permitted to do a pre-settlement inspection on behalf of the owner for this one. Some sales agents aren't a fan of us going through and noting every single thing that's wrong at the property, which I do understand, because we are quite thorough when it comes to pre-tenancy inspections and settlement inspections. So when we actually grabbed the keys and visited the property, there was still furniture there that was not supposed to be there. So the property settled with furniture inside, so that had to be all removed. That is a story for another day. Now, how did we lease these properties all in the space of 48 hours on Thursday and Friday? Well, every single property had quality advertising photos to attract quality tenants. We had a great thumbnail photo for each one, attracting as many quality tenants as possible. Clean and simple rental script. We let them know this is what the property has, this is what the property doesn't. If you're wanting a property that doesn't have these features, then go somewhere else, because we don't want you as a tenant. And they were all accurately priced. There's no point overpricing the property and waiting 2 weeks to get an application that never comes and then dropping the price anyway. Now, that is great on the front end to attract quality applications. Now, what we did for every property is we called these applicants within the first few hours after the application was submitted. So they submit the application in the morning. By lunchtime, they're called. We get them to book a viewing, pre-approve them prior to make sure that they are suitable for the property. And if they do want to proceed, it's a seamless process from then on. There's probably 2 key components in leasing properties quickly and 2 quality applications, which is the front end and the back end. Both have to work to make sure you can lease a property effectively. But when both do work, it's a beautiful thing to see, as it is super simple, tenants happy, the leasing process is seamless and stress-free, and the owner gets a good application. The thing to take away is that when you have a property and the tenant decides to break lease, I would always recommend to check what your property looks like when it's advertised online. Sometimes you can't source great advertising photos because the tenant may be being difficult and not allowing access, or the tenant's extremely messy and you can't even take photos. There are some scenarios where you cannot get quality advertising photos, but on the previous vacate, the property manager should have already taken photos. And to be clear, these photos are taken on an iPhone 13. Like, that is nothing fancy, no fancy technology, and we still managed to make the photos look great. Having quality advertising photos and a clean and simple rental script is essential to attracting the right type of tenant, and making sure that if the tenant drives past before the viewing, which they will, if you were buying a house, you would drive past before you actually did a viewing, they will not even attend the viewing if they see that the lawns aren't mowed, there's overgrown trees, and it looks run down. Well, sorry. The right tenant will not attend the viewing. The tenant you don't want will 100% attend the viewing because they don't care what the property looks like. They don't care if the lawns aren't mowed. They just want a house. We want to get a tenant that will take great care of the property. So next time your property is advertised, make sure to check it online. Feel free to also send it through to me. More than happy to have a look and make any recommendations as well.